Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. If you would please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for a moment of silence afterwards. Please remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I love those voices.
I thought it was energy.
Yeah, you definitely got a voice.
Okay, we just was commenting. It was nice to hear you guys' voices saying that Pledge of Allegiance. It was very, very welcoming. Thank you very much. Just remember to slow down just a little bit when you say it because it is very, very meaningful. Okay.
And we're old.
Slow. And we're old. That's a better point. Mm.
But there is a thing in there where it says one nation, and then everybody kind of pauses and says under God, and there is no pause there. There's no comma there. So it says one nation under God, and so you guys are okay on top of that. But okay, Jamie, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Queen Bars.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Here.
Trustee James Brown.
Here.
Trustee Eckham.
Here.
Trustee Brooke McWhirter.
Here.
Trustee Richard Tucker.
Here.
Trustee McManning.
Here.
And Student Liaison Tori.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we will continue on. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. We approve the agenda presented by staff.
Second.
Here we have a motion by Trustee Richard Tucker and a second by Trustee Brent McWhirter to approve the agenda as written, as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of February 14th, 2024, and I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of February 14th, 2024 as presented by staff.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Trustee Dennis Bryan and a second by Trustee Richard Tucker and Nick Manning to approve the minutes of February 14th, 2024. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Next is the Treasurer's Report, the February bills and claims, and I would ask if there's any questions or any.
Question.
Okay.
On the Banks Conservation District, the partnership for the watershed coordinator, is that money for the whole year? So we up it every, what month are we, February, March? Okay.
But it's for the whole year.
Yeah, it's for the whole year.
Okay. I did have a question. I see, I thought we paid the engineer on call. I thought we paid him the full amount. No.
No, we pay them per project and as they invoice us.
Okay. Because I thought a couple months ago we wrote him a pretty hefty check.
So they also, they have several projects going for us. They are engineer on call. So for example, if we have large scale commercial development, they do need to review those plans and we do have one of those projects going. That comes under engineer on call.
Okay.
They also are engineer of record for the water treatment plant and our stormwater master plan. So you will see several checks to the same company, but for different projects.
Okay, all right, because I do know we did the one big check questioning
The
on that.
water plant and the stormwater master plan are reimbursed because we have grants for those projects.
Okay, all right. And so we repaired a couple of the vehicles, Marshal's office vehicles, and same amount for both vehicles? Okay. All right, any other questions? I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the bills and claims as presented by staff.
Second.
And we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee Nick Manning to approve the bills and claims as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the audience business, and we will, looks like we have several people to speak. Just so, I'm going to make a little announcement here. First of all, the board does not take any action on during audience business. Respectfully, this is a time for the board to hear from our citizens. So we won't be making any decisions because they are not on the agenda. The Board of Trustees will later have an opportunity to speak about your subject if they so to choose to. Each speaker has 5 minutes to address the board. You can't give your time to one or the other. We will be timing you. When you come to the podium, we ask that you give your name and your address slowly so that we can record it and hear it, and then we will start the time. And please keep it respectful, the audience too and the board, okay? First on the board, on here, I have a Katie McClure.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Katie McClure. I live at 6554 Road 41. I'm here in my role with Mancus United just to say a big thank you to the trustees, to the staff, to a number of teachers and parents here. We have a group of kids who are going to do their first public comment at a meeting tonight. And you may not know this, but they've been here in this room to practice, which is a big deal. It's very empowering. Mancus United bought them and their families pizza before this because, as you know, our work is all about creating connection, belonging, and joy. There is nothing more powerful than knowing that your voice matters in your town to make you feel like you belong. So we care very deeply about the fact that they're even doing this, the fact that you let them, they even sat in your chairs.
Before us. These are brand new.
You can hear I'm nervous. Some of them are nervous. I want you to see I'm shaking. I shake every time. It's okay. Anyway, the parents for being here and supporting your kids is a big deal, and that's all. I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, so the next one, I have a Zayla Rapper. Draper, okay.
Hi, my name is Zayla Draper. I live at 40892 Highway 160, number 20, Mancus, Colorado. Me and my friends are here to talk about herbicides at Boyle Park and an alternative. And me and my friends have been working on this PBL project for a very long time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next one is Trelina King. Is that the way to pronounce it?
Well, you got the first one right.
It's hard to read your writing.
I appreciate your honesty.
Be honest with us.
Yeah.
So you give us your name and your address and we'll get it straight, okay?
Okay. My name is Trelina and my address is 102 Minifee Street. And I'll be talking about the dangers. This pesticide is called Defender. This pesticide is bad because of all the wild animals and kids are getting sick. And the grass is starting to die and there's not really that much biodiversity there. I want Boyle Park to be safe from Defender, so as the other girls. So please accept this of what we are trying to say. And please stop spraying Defender. Biodiversity is what we are missing right now. I am fighting for a healthy park. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we have an Aileen Ortiz. And if you would give your name and your address. Do we need to pull that down a little more?
Yeah.
Pull the mic down just a little more. There you go.
There you go.
She's got it, I think.
Hi, my name is Aileen Ortiz. My address is East Railroad Avenue 121. Today I'm going to be talking about the history over the years of the Boyle Park. First, in 2018, they started spraying a very dangerous chemical called 2,4-D. In 2019, this really nice lady named Katrina Blair offered to manage Boyle Park organizationally. Unfortunately, her bid was not accepted. In 2020, they stopped spraying 2,4-D at the very end of the year. During that year, a lot of people wanted it to stop. One time, they went at 6 a.m. to the park because they thought that if someone was there at the park, they could not spray. In 2021, they started using a chemical called 2,4-D. Luckily, they stopped spraying 2,4-D and started spraying Defender. But Defender is still dangerous, just not as dangerous. In 2022, they were still spraying Defender, and at this time, most of the 5th and 4th graders were doing cheerleading. We were doing cartwheels and on the grass. In 2024, this year, we hope we can achieve this project and make it come true. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next one I have is it Taylor or Jailer? Taylor Mackey? Markey, okay.
Hello, my name is Taylor Mackey. My address is 39272 Highway 184, Mancos, Colorado. I'm here to talk to you about biodiversity. Biodiversity is a necessity for a healthy lawn. In a biodiverse lawn, you would see herbs, shrubs, and native grasses, dandelions, clover, and much more. When a lawn is biodiverse, it looks better and healthier than a lawn with herbicides being sprayed. A few of the parks in Durango are organically maintained, such as Brookside Park, Pioneer Park, and Needham Elementary's playground. I hope you take this into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next one is Elliot McClure.
Hi, my name is Elliot McClure. I live at 6554 Road 41. I specialize in the Mancos Boyle Park petition. Me and my friends went to every elementary class except kindergarten to collect signatures of those who wanted, and we told the community to sign it if they feel it is important to have a safe and biodiverse place to play and hang out. Here's the thing. Our last count, we counted 167 signatures, but we have gotten more. We hope that all these signatures will help take a step towards having a healthy, safe, and biodiverse and beautiful Mancos Boyle Park. Thank you. We also I have the petitions right there. There are only copies, so we'll see if we can make more copies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next one is Jordan Lyons.
Hi, my name is Jordan Lyons. I live at 415 North Mesa. I specialized in the petition. We got all of our signatures from the town, park, and family. We want to have this beautiful park that we can live in. We hope that we can convince you to make a safe park that the kids can play at. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the last one is Maya Tina Riz. Okay, you correct me when you get to the, because I'm sure I'm butchering these, so you say it right for the record. Okay, sweetheart? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mayatiana Ruiz, and my address is 40892 Highway 160, number 22, and I specialize in the solution. A solution that came to me was Katrina Blair, and at Be Happy Lands. We know you said no to her in the past, but that was before. She helped multiple parks in Durango, and Katrina Blair offered to keep the park looking fresh without spraying toxic herbicides for the same price that they pay for right now. We hope that you take this into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have done a nice job, thank you.
We can't see those posters.
Okay.
Is there a way we can get more of a glimpse of?
If you bring them out to like the center. Yeah. There we go.
Bring them a little closer so we can kind of see them. Okay.
Use my binoculars.
Cool. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice
You did well.
presentation,
Good
thank
job.
you. Good job.
Y'all did really well, and it's scary to talk into a microphone. It
In
still
front of a
scares
bunch of
us.
adults. You did
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Very confident.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
That's fun. We should have kids in every meeting. That's so great.
Yeah, give some room for the trustees.
I know. I can have
Is there a
couple.
age limit on trustees?
Shouldn't be. 18.
I'll give us a few minutes to have a little bit of quiet, let them clear out.
They did a good job.
The next generation of public speakers.
Future board members.
Future board.
That's right.
Start grouping.
That's it? For audience?
Is there more audience?
No, that's it. We just let them clear
Yeah.
out.
Is there anybody else that wants to speak that is not on the agenda? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get on up here.
Yeah, yeah, tell us how to do it.
Future.
Okay.
Probably wouldn't be as intimidated.
All right, next on the agenda is announcements. Heather, do you have any announcements?
I do not have any announcements. I believe Jason has one.
I just have one. So the visioning survey is closed. It's open for 3 weeks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compile the results of this year's and then do a comparison from the last few years. And I'll start by presenting those to the Planning and Zoning Commission next month. And then obviously I'll present to you guys as well.
So I can take those off my table now?
Yeah, sorry.
Cool. No worries. Just
let you know you're close to have
cool.
Jamie?
The school board had the student liaisons at their last meeting, and I just want to say they did an amazing job talking about everything going on here. And the school board is actually considering getting their own student liaison.
Perfect.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
really
I
good.
just wanted to
Wow,
share that
that's a
because they did
cool, you know.
Good
Nice.
job.
That's neat.
I did listen to their meeting, and you girls did a great job of talking about what you're learning here, and great. Any other announcements from the board? Okay, moving right along to the committee reports. Gerald, you're up first. Montezuma County Commissioner update. Uh-oh.
Actually, most of the stuff at the county right now, been spending quite a bit of time on the possibility of doing a public safety sales tax to fund right now. We haven't actually voted on it yet, but what we're looking at right now is a 1% public safety sales tax that will go to the jail, sheriff, and the task force. And that's the only three things that money can be spent on. The money that has been coming out of the general fund to pay those departments, what we're planning on doing is decreasing the mill levy on the property tax to offset that. The property tax owners in this county have been paying all the bills for years. because that's all we have. There's a 0.4% sales tax that goes to the hospital, but Montezuma County doesn't have any sales tax at all. So what we're proposing is to shift the burden from just totally on the landowners, property owners, to the sales tax, part of it. It's not all of it, just what a fund basically that should bring in about what it takes to fund the sheriff and the jail and the task force.
Which is how much? Ballpark?
Probably, you know, I mean, it's around 7 million, somewhere in that
Okay.
And that's just to
neighborhood's
maintain.
what it should bring in.
Okay.
And like I said, that right now, that's all coming out of the general fund. And the only source of that is Kinder Morgan and property taxes mostly. That's the biggest percentage of it. Our assessor did basically a comparison for what Kinder Morgan pays in this county. It would take 140 companies like Osprey Pack to make up what Kinder Morgan does.
Wow.
What they pay. So it's a lot. It's a big percentage, and at some point in time, they're going to go away. We're just looking, hopefully, down the road to where we can shift some of this burden away from just the property tax, because we're going to need to at some point in time. It's got to happen. We only got 27% of this county as private property, and so it limits us severely as far as how much property tax we can collect. Anyway, that's the proposal right now. We haven't decided on the exemptions from that tax yet. But basically, what we're looking at is that situation where it's 1% and strictly a public safety sales tax. So that's what we've mainly been working on, other than the legislative, trying to keep up with all the different legislations that they're trying to pass and see what other burdens they're going to put on us. We got several coming down in the next couple of years, as far as that's already been passed, that's going to be implemented as far as our jail goes. So it's going to put some more burden on us. And most of these are coming down as unfunded mandates, so it's not going to be pretty. It's costing us more and more every year. So we're hoping to get this situation straightened out. Other thing, as far as water goes, the negotiations are going on as far as the guidelines for the operation on the Colorado River. There's a lot of controversy going on right now. I don't know how it's going to all come out. The upper basin states are not in agreement with the lower basin states, which is not unusual. But
Yeah.
So we're not gonna send it down?
hopefully this time Colorado's going to stand up and not give in. Okay, we can't keep doing this. I mean, it's just crazy. We can't. There's some other programs going on out there, and they're trying to figure out how they could get, they're paying people to not use their water, and they're paying them enough money that it's kind of a sad situation, because when they'll pay people $500 an acre foot not to use the water, you cannot make that much money farming with that. So, in a way, you can't blame the farmers for taking the money, but the whole thing of it is, when there's so much of that happens, it hurts all the rest of your economy in the county, because all your implement dealers, all your feed stores, your seed stores, all of that stuff sells less product, and pretty soon they cannot stay in business.
It also messes with the groundwater of your basin. If your water's just going down the river, it's not being used in your area, it's messing with a whole bunch of the aquifers in the area and everything.
Yeah, it affects everything. So I voted against it when it was before the task force, when we were considering it. I didn't like it. I think it's a terrible program. We have never been using much more than half of the water the upper basin states have got a right to use. We just haven't. been using it. And why we would be paying people not to use their water just to, I don't agree with it, but it's happening and it's out there. So, otherwise, there's a couple things coming up. You know, as far as Ironwood stuff is all in court. It's hard telling what's going to come out of that whole deal. At some point, it's probably going to have to be cleaned up. What's going to happen with it? It's kind of up in the air right now as to what's going on. But they owe a lot of money to CDPHE in fines and the county for how they've operated. But it's basically totally shut down and they've kind of walked away from it. But there's a company that actually has a lien against them that's coming forward. So it's hard telling what's going to happen with that deal. So, otherwise, there's elections coming up, and as you guys know. So, good luck.
Thanks,
Cheryl. Okay. Next is the student liaison update. Are you giving it to us today? Okay.
To my knowledge, there have not been any big events or anything particularly exciting happening at the school within the last few weeks since our last meeting.
Well, except the girls' basketball team took 5th in state.
I said to my knowledge.
There you go. Well played. Well played. Nice. You've got a future in politics, Dory.
Yeah. So congratulations, those of you girls that played basketball.
Yes. Quite exciting.
It was quite exciting.
And spring breaks up?
Next week.
That's exciting.
That's exciting. Do you girls have anything else that you want to add to that?
There's seriously nothing. The only thing I can think of other than that is, I don't know, it's because like junior class, doing fall stuff, being class president, I know everything. But we might be doing our grand march right outside of the Opera House. So we might be having like, get the word out about that, like, hey, marching, you know, but we don't know if we're going to do it outside the high school or from the Opera House yet. So we don't know. I'll have a better update.
The senior class was changed their class song. We're arguing about it forever because some parents complained about our original one. So.
What was it?
I don't know.
Not to my knowledge.
To her knowledge.
So they just told us to choose a new one.
Hard to find a song without a crowd.
I don't know what the new one is either.
Big Brother.
I just want to say thank you, girls, for stepping up and doing this. It's amazing, and proud of you. Proud of you. Yes.
We should try to enroll some young men into the process.
We didn't think about what we do after.
So I do have just one thing. If you guys are going to have to close Grand Avenue, please have your teacher facilitator or the adult in charge reach out, because CDOT requires a certain timeline to submit applications to close the street, because Greg is actually a state highway. But we can do it. But we have to have it in just 45 days, and we're kind of close.
We could probably just.
I think it's like 45 days.
Yeah.
Turnaround.
We could probably.
Call a saver if it's not overnight. But so please have whoever's in charge and reach out.
Just can't close it down.
Just close half of it?
Let them know. The street closure form is on our website. It's on the marshal's office page of forms. And then and either I can help you or Jamie can help you. But they do have to reach out to us, because you have to fill out our form, and then I have a bunch of stuff that we have to send to CDOT. So, sooner rather than later. Okay.
Sorry, Brent, yes.
Something that might be easier than shutting down Grand for that night would be shutting down Pioneer Park to parking and using that for the Grand March. Because then all the parents could gather around and they could walk through and go into the Opera House from there instead of it being on the street. And we wouldn't have to worry about that because we own it.
Perfect. Okay.
Other than the cantina part.
Who cares? It's not my problem.
Just parking vendor, restaurants.
I'll get to you. We'll figure this one, it's okay.
Okay, next is the Region 9 update.
Heather sent out to all you guys the 2023 corporate annual report, and I'm sure you've all looked at it.
Every word.
To my knowledge, yes. Yeah. So, just some of the highlights is that SWORD is the Southwest Opioid Response District. They are, they talked about the enterprise zone. They successfully sponsored, remember the higher purpose homes? Do you guys remember when they came and presented? Yeah, as a rural jumpstart business. There's lots of things. So just if you are excited about it, you should look at it because it'll give you everything you need to know about Region 9 up to date.
Okay. All right, moving right along to discussion and action items. We have the Hand in Hand Shop LLC, liquor license perimeters, and public hearing date. Jamie.
Yes, Hand in Hand Shop has submitted a completed application for a tavern liquor license and a carrying takeout license. And so we are asking you guys to set the parameters and for petitions and to set a public hearing date for the Cut. And the owner, well, one of the owners is also here today too.
So where's this facility gonna be?
Beehive.
Oh, Cat Building.
Maybe a little bit more about, did you say, what I read was a takeout also?
Yes.
Can we ask questions?
Sure.
Can you give us just a concept?
So we have a bookstore, wine store, and Colorado was recently allowed to take out alcohol, so it would basically be where we could,
Can I ask you to come up so that we can have it on record? And tell us who you are.
Name and address, please.
Sorry. No, it's okay. I am Ren Yates. My address is 673 Riverside. This is Sam.
Hi, Sam.
My spokes baby.
That's a cute baby.
So it's going to be a bookstore, wine store. That's not going to help anyone. There you go. And Colorado recently has allowed to go take out alcohol. So the idea would be that we would sell, a glass of wine here and there, but also mostly be retail wine. And very few seating. I mean, just a couple of little bar seats around. Not really a tavern at all, but that seems to be the licensing that the state has available for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be books, wine, and then gifts,
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Right.
What did we set the boundaries as in the past? I forget. Is it the town itself?
The town limits.
Makes sense, right?
That's what we've done.
I don't see any reason to change it.
Shouldn't change it now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've got it. Thanks, I make. Anybody else have anything to say? Otherwise, I'll.
Do you have any questions or anything else? No.
Okay. I'll make a motion. We set the perimeters as the town of Memphis for petition circulation for the tavern license application and takeout delivery application from Hand in Hand Shop LLC and set a public hearing for April 10th, 2024 for licensing decision.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by trustee Nick Manning and a second by trustee Ed Hallam and Rick McWhirter to set the perimeters as the town of Mancos town limits for petition circulation for the tavern license application and takeout delivery application.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Adele?
Aye.
Trustee Brent McWhirter?
Aye.
Trustee Richard Hooper?
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Moving right along to the 2023 sales tax revenue update. And this is going to be
So this is an update for you all. Last year, we started a 3-year pilot program with the Chamber and the Creative District, where we would give them a percentage of our sales tax to assist with their economic development efforts. Yes.
Sales tax from lodging.
Lodging and art.
Right, no, but it's not 10% of our total sales tax.
No, it's 10% of the lodging and art.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure that was clear.
Yes. So this year, lodging and art are approximately $66,000, almost exactly what it was last year. But, and these are based on 2023 unaudited financials. However, it's just easier to do that rather than waiting for our audit in the middle of the year. So we will split approximately $6,600 between those two organizations. We will be cutting checks next week, but I did want to at least give you the information, give you a refresher before we cut checks to them. We will be doing this one more time next year, and then we'll sit down and probably, I would assume, the same way that we did it last time, where we had a joint workshop with the board and the chamber board and the creative district board to see how it's working and that kind of thing. Originally, we chose a percentage rather than a flat rate because the more harder that they work, it sounds horrible, but the more money that we can bring in for lodging and art, the more money that they will receive for their organizations.
Incentive.
So, yes. So I just wanted to give you all an update, see if there were any questions, remind you of the program, and then if there are no objections, we'll kind of check next week for each one.
Go.
Okay, moving right along then to Resolution 6, Series 2024, the 2024 dispatch agreement renewal.
So I'm going to start this one, and then if David or Justin have anything or anything they'd like to share with you all. I gave you some information in your staff report. So we worked incredibly hard with all of the users of dispatch to create an accountability committee, come up with a user agreement, and it was in effect for 1 year. And apparently, Montezuma County and the city of Cortez got together and rewrote the entire thing. And as you can see, from the information that I've given the staff report, that is a direct quote from the city of Cortez city attorney. But the county and the city are not interested in negotiating individually with all 12 of the other member jurisdictions. Montezuma County and the city of Cortez are the largest users, and they are telling us to take it or leave it. If we had a choice, I would not recommend that we sign this. It's a horrible.
Yeah.
We pay the money and have no say.
Yeah. However, the deadline for them to get it to us was December, and we got it December 18th. Justin and I both shared our concerns with our town attorney, who reached out to the city of Cortez attorney, who did not respond. They responded to us at the end of January, and the due date for this agreement was January 31st. They left us no time.
Yeah.
We do not have an option. We must have dispatch services for the safety of our community and our staff. There are no other options. So, under duress, I'm recommending that we sign it. Staff will be looking for other options, but understand that a dispatch center is incredibly expensive. They are staffed 24/7, 365, even if you close if someone's sick. So, I'm sorry, but we do not have a choice, and if I had any choice, I would not sign this agreement, and I would not ask you all to approve it, but we do not have a choice.
It's a horrible written.
It's a horrible agreement.
Couple questions.
Yes.
Where are the other 11 members? I mean, assuming we're 12, where are the other 11 members with the agreement?
It's Montezuma County, the city of Cortez, the town of Mendez.
But I mean, just where are they at in terms of signing or not signing?
He sent an email out, and, I have it, I believe, I don't know if Montezuma County has approved it yet, but, there were only, at the time that we did reach out to their attorneys, they said, who else has signed it? And there's 4 or 5 organizations that have signed it.
Okay. And what other options? I mean, you say staff researching other options. I mean, dispatch centers are usually county specific. So.
Well, and, I'll be bringing some information to you. It's going to take work.
Yeah.
And it's very involved, and it's very difficult because, for example, 911. When you call 911, it goes to Cortez.
Yeah.
We don't have the capability to set up 911 that comes here. People
Right.
call here and come here. I don't want to say town, but again, town our size with our limited staff.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We, I'm very unhappy about this, and I'm sure that the other organization, peers and the other organizations are aware of that, and if they weren't, they are now.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, because this is awful. And this Cortez city manager was copied on this email, so he's aware of what his signature is.
So why have a user group if appointed, if not asked for input? We got a user group, I mean, but I can't say anything? Why haven't a user group?
And I unfortunately, this is the response we got when we asked the question.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a big power grab.
Right.
After all that.
How's this going to impact like bottom line? I mean,
our bottom line will probably remain relatively unchanged. We always pay between $40,000 and $60,000 a year for dispatch fees, but that's not the point.
Right. No, I'm just curious.
So
there are, in my opinion, as a layperson, Justin may have a different idea. For example, we were having concerns with some, and those employees are doing the best that they can. Please do not think that the dispatch employees are not working. They're working incredibly hard. They run into the same problems that we have. They're understaffed, that kind of thing. But there are calls that come in, and there is information that is from the dispatch center to our law enforcement that is not complete. We'll call for backup and get no response. So the accountability committee was formed to address those issues of officer safety internally with the agency heads of the organizations, and if 5 or 6 organizations are having the same problem, the dispatch manager and staff, they need to know that. They can't fix it if they don't know. Those kinds of things. We're not punitive, you all know that. We're not dictators here. We work together, and that was the intent of the user agreement. The financials, there were some questions about financials during the years that the audits weren't completed with the city of Cortez. And those are done now, so Cortez has done their audits.
But what happens if they don't again? Then where does this go? I mean,
like I said, I am unhappy with this agreement. It is a bad agreement on this. However, we have to have dispatch services. They have to have the ability to call for help and to review their conditions, and the citizens have to be able to call 911. We do not have a choice.
Yeah.
So I don't have a clue, to be honest with you. Back to the next question. I don't know what we can do. I don't know what our options are. I have no idea. I want to make sure that we are going to spend as much time as we need to do our due diligence to see if there are any other options. Are they? How much do they cost? Are they even feasible? What are the legalities? So we'll be doing some research over the next probably 12 months. It's not an easy project.
No.
But we do need you to approve the resolution.
Under the
We can approve it
administrative.
under duress?
Yeah, that's what.
I don't know if Justin has anything to add, and then if David has anything to add.
I want to say something first. This, under administration, where it says that the Cortez Police Chief, upon the request of any UG member or at the Cortez Police Chief's discretion, may call a meeting of the user group upon 72 hours notice. Every other organization that I go to, if 5 members do a written request, we have to have that meeting. And this says may call a meeting. That's giving them all this power. I mean, this just.
He's the chairperson too.
Right. I mean, it just blows my mind. I mean, every other organization I know of, you know, if you got five members and they request a meeting, the president has to call that meeting. They can't say, oh, I don't want to, or I'm not going to because I disagree with why you're calling it. They have to.
And that's because that's what their operating agreement or their bylaws or whatever, that's what that says. This says something different, which is again.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's really hard for me to put my name on it.
We don't have a choice.
I know, but it's really hard for me, and I want to.
The really crappy part about this whole thing,
Right.
that we have no choice, and they know that.
When they know that, right? Right.
Yeah, which is great. Good neighbors.
What's I mean, so you've heard the term power grab a couple times. What's driving that? Like why change? Is there personality at play? Do you have to name names? Is there something specific that's driving this massive change?
That could get political, so we probably should ask that question.
Politics, okay. That's all you have to say.
Do you want to address this?
I can answer any questions. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It sucks, but.
I mean, what's your read on
this? Gerald's here. He's the county commissioner.
Yep.
What's your take on this, Gerald?
Well, I can tell you what the whole thing is. You know, we are the 911 also.
Right.
We fund all the equipment that's in there. To the 911 equipment. All of you pay so much on your phone every month. And we use that money to fund basically we're funding. But the city of Cortez runs that dispatch. We don't really have any say about it as far as other than buying the equipment. They come to us and want us to buy the equipment, which we've redone most of it in the last, well, part of it's in process right now, getting new equipment all in there to prevent these calls. Hopefully they'll be a lot better as far as what gets communicated and how fast it gets communicated and stuff. As far as what everybody pays the same per call.
Percentage wise.
We don't mind paying, it's cutting us out of having a voice.
Having a voice.
It's all up to the city of Cortez and how much they're paying their dispatchers and stuff. As to what that cost is, because you're not paying for the equipment.
Well, and again, let me say this, Gerald. We're not opposed to paying the cost, the charge. It's the fact that we have no say so other than you pay, and that's it. This has negated our ability to have any say so in the process. Yeah, we're paying an equal share per call as anyone else.
We've argued with the city of Cortez, even when I was in there before, because they would never show us where they were paying for their calls.
Right.
Well, and this.
Never show us.
So
if I remember correctly.
See that in the budget. They would never show us.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't this originally come up, this whole group and everything? It was one, we weren't getting financials.
Yeah.
And two, there was a time when the city of Cortez was threatening to raise the rent on the call center.
Yeah. Yep.
We were gonna be charged
to a
rent
crazy
for
amount.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the building or the place that it.
I think it was.
No,
maybe?
No, it was
18.
No, because I was here in 19. And it was after I was here. Yeah, and it's always back and forth. And it's like Commissioner Copenhaver said, we share it, but at the end of the day, we all agree that we're paying a fee, and we should have a voice in that because we all represent constituents, whether it's the commissioners or a municipality down, and that has been taken away by one entity that controls it. But when you have somebody that has nothing but time to write a IGA and slide it in, then it is, we're kind of stuck with it. And I still don't agree with the bill. I mean, you guys see it in the bills and claims. It's a one-line thing. If you took a vehicle or you paid for any service with the amount of money that we pay annually, and it just says service bill, and then a dollar figure, I don't agree with it. Break it down per call, and we've tried, we've had meetings, we've done all of this. It's never gonna change. There has to be a major shakeup within that municipality for there to ever be a change.
That's how they got in all their trouble in the first place, was hiding their financial information.
Well, and I mean, we can beat a dead horse all we want, but at the end of the day, if we don't sign the agreement, they don't have to dispatch for us. If we sign the agreement, we're now paying administrative fees, we're paying IT. So are they going to count how many pieces of paper the Mancos Marshal's office does versus Monzum County Sheriff's Office, everybody else? I don't know. I don't know what their administrative fees are, but we're very cautious on what we ask for because I don't want to pay more in administrative fees.
Right.
Just because we're paying between 40 and 60,000 annually, we can budget that. But if I start asking for more stuff, does that mean that we're going to be paying 100,000?
Right.
I can't answer that.
Right, they do. And Gerald, I don't know if you noticed this, but it says the property purchased for the dispatch center now basically is solely owned by the city of Cortez. So the commissioners are buying that equipment, but the city of Cortez owns it.
The equipment is all bought by the 911 board.
Yeah, but it says in this agreement.
It says in this agreement
that
that
it becomes ownership of theirs.
it becomes the property of the city of Cortez. Did you read that?
Now what are you saying?
And so if the 911 board buys the equipment, or
Yes.
the county commissioners put that in there, this agreement states that the items used to be collectively owned, and now basically they will be solely owned by the city of Cortez.
That's not. It's still in the name of the 911 board.
That's not what this agreement says.
This agreement says different.
It's gonna negate it.
It's gonna.
I'll have to look at it because Kent's been doing that stuff with the 911 board. I haven't, but I'll have to look at it and see.
Right.
But it's supposed to be, all that equipment still is supposed to be in the name of the 911 board. And it had not been, but it's supposed to be now. All this new equipment we bought is all supposed to be in the 911 board's name, not the city of Cortez.
Is in, the city is taking over the building and the contents.
They own the building.
They already do.
But the equipment that these guys are buying now belongs to the city of Cortez.
And that's in our comments on the side.
Yeah. It's like I go out and buy a car and my neighbor takes it and gets to keep it.
You know, I said, we have to sign it.
It's a mess.
But it's
Well,
hard.
it's something that I would definitely say we sign, we have no choice but to sign and let them be known that, and I think it's where we need to talk to all of the other entities that are involved in this. And say,
That's what I say. We just get everybody else and
say, we need to have.
But they don't have to listen.
Every other entity also needs dispatch
Yeah.
services.
Right.
We can't all just walk tomorrow. We don't.
No,
that's not.
But we need to negotiate a better
But we
more
can.
fair package.
Well,
Flip
but they're not interested in negotiating with any of us. We will all sign it, or we will all not receive dispatch services.
But if.
So we need time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the board trusts knowing me and Justin and the department heads well enough to know that we will do what we have to do in the short term to protect our citizens and our staff. But we will be bringing this to you in one form or another at future meeting, after we have a chance to do some research and figure out legalities and options. And if there are no options, we will tell you that, but we will do our research.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying, we have to sign this, but this shouldn't just, we can't roll over.
But it doesn't mean we can't collaborate with the other entities that are tied to this that may be as upset as we are with the contract. Like the county or Dolores or whoever.
Well, I'll guarantee our sheriff's not happy with the whole thing either. I mean,
well, the fire department goes through the same thing.
all the fire departments, everybody else, you know, it's this is not something that's brand new. I mean,
There's a lot of money that
this has
goes
been
into
going
that.
on for a long time, and it's been out of control.
Well, there's a lot of money, the different fire departments throughout the area.
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot of cash that goes in that. They should be able to buy their own equipment with the amount of money that's going in there.
Does the park and the Forest Service sign this too? I doubt they would sign it.
Yeah, if you look on the back page,
It tells you all
you've got his park partners, Interior National Park Service.
Hard to believe that lawyers from the DOI would sign something like this.
They don't
I
have a
don't
choice.
know if
They don't have a
that's the
choice.
position that we're in. We received this 30 days before it needed to be signed.
Well,
We cannot do anything for dispatch in 30 days.
That's what you do.
The problem is it's the only game in town. I mean, either you have it or you don't.
Sign it or you don't get dispatch license.
Right.
That's where we are.
Right.
Well, it's super lopsided. They have the power to kick us out, but we have no accountability on that. It's just totally.
Like I said, the agreement is horrible.
That's terrible.
And you know that, but the county and the city have made it very clear that they are not interested in negotiating or discussing or.
Well, it sounds like the county just furnishes the equipment. They're not really have any ownership in there.
Well, the sheriff does. The sheriff's office does.
The sheriff.
County and the city of Cortez met over the course of last year and decided this was the agreement that worked for the county and the city of Cortez. So I don't think it's fair to put Gerald on the spot.
No,
I agree with you 100%. It's a mess, and I don't know what the solution is. We've actually talked, you know, I mean.
Did you guys sign this? Have you guys signed this at a public meeting? This agreement?
No.
Or would the sheriff do that?
No,
it's
the county has to sign it.
Jim Candelaria.
Well, if it's a mess, I think the officers on the street and the people at the dispatch center and all of them would have a solution. I mean, those of us who are kind of on the outside, I think people who are doing it every day need to come together and talk about, okay, this isn't working for us. We aren't getting the calls through and so on. So,
But those are the people that report to the police chief, and he doesn't want to listen.
right, I got that, but
Yeah.
you don't report to the Cortez Police Chief.
No.
I've had meetings with them and it falls on deaf ears, so.
Oh, yeah. So in other words, okay.
Since,
Yeah.
in 5 years I've been here, I've gone in there and I told them what to do to change the organization, how to make dispatch better. They don't care.
Okay.
It's working for them. They're making money on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And see, I think that's what's happened over the years. The city of Cortez has basically been using it as a money-making operation. Honestly, I think that's what's happened.
Yeah.
so
And it's gonna be more so now.
And you guys are footing the bill for all the equipment, so why wouldn't they?
Well,
Yeah.
taxpayers.
Well, yeah,
Right.
but still, you guys,
Yeah,
they're not
are
paying for it,
with
though.
your phone, because it comes right off
Yeah,
your
it
phone.
comes right off of our.
And
Yeah.
it's, you know, I know this last year we put, I forget what that, some of that stuff was over $700,000. So,
Yeah.
you know, we put a bunch more money into that thing in just the last year.
Yeah.
So it's a problem. It was, you know, looking back on it a long time when they first started the 911, we probably should have just done our own dispatch. We've kicked ourselves several times since then for that. But you also got, I don't know how many employees they got running that thing, 24-hour shift. You know, so you got to have at least for every shift there, you got to have 5 employees to keep that going 24 hours a day.
Well,
So-
after 2 p.m. or after 2 a.m., there's only one. They might finally have it after 2 a.m.
Yeah, so, you know, and part of it's driven just by the fact, just like what, we're not getting the calls to everybody like they should, and it's not complete and everything else, so they're, you know, they say they're trying to improve it and increase the people, so that increases the cost. So, I mean, there's arguments both ways, but it's been a problem for quite a while. Because it's just like last year, Steve come to us because he didn't budget for the dispatch in his budget. So he come to us and it was $325,000
Oops.
for the year.
Oops.
So, you know, we were scrounging around trying to find that much money to pay his dispatch fees because he didn't budget for it. So, you know, I mean, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've tried to buy some better equipment so they can get better service from it. See how that works out, but I know it's a problem.
We don't object to paying, we don't object to paying the fees. They are necessary, it's business, we get it. It's not the fees that, for maintenance myself, it's not the fees that I object to. It is the fact that when our staff is put at risk because dispatch is not passing along information, that has nothing to do with staffing. Somebody's taking that call and they're getting information, but they're not passing it along. That is a danger.
Okay.
When one of our staff calls for backup because they are alone on scene and nobody comes, that is not acceptable. That is my concern because this contract removed any teeth that we have to deal with that. We can't even call and ask for our own records. Under this contract, if Cortez chooses to, they can treat it as an open record request and charge us. Under this contract, that is not acceptable. The taxpayers are already paying for the service. They shouldn't have to pay again when we have to cut a check to get a report. Or when we have legitimate officer safety issues that go unaddressed by the staff, that we are directed by this contract to tell about it, we have no further recourse when nothing is done. That is my concern with this contract.
Okay.
And there is no out. If we choose in a year to leave dispatch due to officer safety concerns, we are still required under this contract to pay for an additional 2 years under this contract. That is not acceptable. Those are my concerns with this contract. It's absolutely not the money. It is the fact that I personally met with the City of Cortez manager and the police chief several years ago to say, these are concerns. We have dates, we have times, we have case numbers, we have calls. These are legitimate officer safety concerns. They said, okay, no problem. And we drafted something that allowed our staff to bring those concerns and be addressed. They were forced to address them with the committee. And this contract has undone all of that. That is my biggest concern. Am I grumpy about the fact that if we leave, we lose all of the access that our citizens' money paid into the 911 fund, all of that equipment to buy? I am very grumpy about that. But not as important as officer safety and citizen safety. If somebody calls for backup and nobody comes, that not only puts the officer at risk, but all of those citizens that are there at risk as well. That is, it's just not acceptable to me. And I am sorry if it's uncomfortable or if it's seen as aggressive on my part.
It's not. It's not, because if that's what's happening, we need to know about it. Okay? Because that's the first I've heard of it.
Well, and that's why I say we addressed it, so they started the accountability committee, and things had been moving along fine. You know what I mean? When you get that many users, there's always going to be.
Let me tell you something, if they're not coming to back up this man, we've got a problem. We've got a serious problem. Worse than what we already thought.
But now we don't have a voice.
Well, and
Well,
part
if
of
we
that
raise a
problem
voice, they can
is
boot us out.
is dispatch letting the other agency know that they need backup. They may not be getting the notice either. So, we can't say, I don't want to say that the sheriff's office isn't coming because they may not know that they need backup because
Right.
dispatch isn't telling them. If dispatch isn't telling him every bit of information that he needs when he goes on a call, if they leave out the fact that somebody's got a knife or a gun or someone's on drugs, if they leave that information out, that puts his safety in jeopardy. But it also, if they don't turn around and call the sheriff's office or the city police or another deputy and make us to a thing, that's not on that agency, that's on dispatch. And this takes every bit of that away from us having any accountability for them. This gives me nightmares.
Well, and those are those are to me the large concerns that we will be addressing internally over the course of our research into other options. And like I said, I don't know, maybe there aren't any. 911 surcharges are governed under statute and laws, and legal research needs to be done. And you know what I mean? So I do not know what our options are. But I am asking today, because we don't have a choice, we have to sign this, but we will be doing research.
But we also have 2 years. We can't do anything for 2 years because this contract's good for 2 years.
Well, and I will say, okay,
You can break a contract.
we are tracking, and there are some things I didn't
Breach of
necessarily want
contract.
to say.
Yeah.
But if somebody calls for backup again and there is no response, I'm tracking that information.
Absolutely.
Can we?
You know that I have hell on wheels with research and data. I am tracking the date, the time, the officer's case number, what happened, and every single time that one of our staff or our citizens were put in jeopardy.
Is it worth, we're going to sign it because we have to, but is it worth attaching something that says that, like a legal opinion or something that just gives us some teeth to fall back on versus just blindly signing this and our voices getting lost after this conversation?
That part I don't know.
Paper trail.
That my peers and the other municipalities and Washington County considering this is on YouTube, and my staff report's been posted online.
Yeah.
We're not fighting it. I do not know if it will do any good, just based on some of the conversations that I've had with other people in my position in other municipalities. Not terribly concerned.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by politics.
Yeah.
I have attended some of those accountability meetings. I have spoken to some of my other peers in the county and just not responsible.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want it to seem like dispatchers are doing their job. That's not what this is.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's what this is.
Everybody makes mistakes. Please don't get me wrong. And
Yeah. There's no.
margin for error does need to be less.
It's not acceptable for them not to be.
My problem is that we are being told in no uncertain terms by their attorney that they do not care what our concerns are.
Right.
They have said that in writing, so we have no choice.
And that's the problem is that, the contract is the spirit of the agreement, right? And it's very clear the agreement is Cortez centric and that we're not a priority. And so the fact that that's in writing the way it is, that's just going to play out in the way that calls go and dispatch goes. You can just see it coming. So that's, to me, the big red flag is this is just going to deprioritize our needs. That's all it is.
Well, and I don't know, let me see if we can potentially, I don't know, maybe we can amend the resolution. But do you know what I'm saying? And bring it back to you all.
A letter of
to maybe
protest.
address some of
Yeah.
our, concerns. We are signing a resolution.
But we want to attach like a writer or something, like an amendment.
Maybe we can do that in the resolution, ultimately approving, but with reservation. Let me do some research. with David. and
He's
see if
scratching his
there's
head over
something
there.
Poor David.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
So are we doing this tonight? Cause I'll make the motion.
Yeah, let's get this going. I mean, our hands are tied right now, but let's.
well,
or
now
do we
they can
wait
bring a
2 weeks?
resolution back to us. Do we have a date that this has to be signed by?
Yeah, January
January
30th.
30th?
Well, how long do services go? I mean, we have services now. How long are they gonna
We
keep
have
going for?
services now. I will say, I would be very, very surprised if they cut off service while we are negotiating.
They're not.
We're discussing.
I
They're
mean,
not gonna cut off.
that would be a huge liability.
Yeah, I don't think that they can, I don't think that they.
They don't
I don't
seem to
even-
care.
They better not.
But that'd be silly.
We already cut them a check this year, so they're not.
Well, that's what I saw that, yeah.
So,
So if they don't have an agreement.
Oh, see.
I don't think that
we
they'll
need to
come.
sign it prior to the next IGA coming out for sure. I mean, it would be nice if we could sign it prior to July, but I understand we need to do research. If the board's asking for research and everything else, but whether we sign this under protest or we just sign it, I've got to have something that I can fight with, even though this is a crappy IGA. But at least we have a signature on there. If there's a breach in it, I can stand there and say, this is the issue.
Yeah.
And I may not have a voice at the end of it, but at least there's something that I can hold and say, no, we signed it.
Yeah. So if you were in our seat, you would sign it and move on?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I would absolutely sign it under protest.
Okay.
And in my protest, I would call for, as a user, since it's an intergovernmental agreement, I would ask for a new IGA.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's intergovernmental, that meaning all entities.
It means the governing board that's elected by the citizens, and all the resolution does is appoint a figurehead. And the reason that I've always asked to stay, not be the primary, is because my aunt is manager of dispatch. I've been very open with that. So I'm secondary, and I have Brad as our primary, just so there's nothing that can say there's a family tie. Because normally I'm mad, but I'm not very happy most of the time.
Well, since this board has been aware of this, if we are going to sign it and do a resolution under protest, I think it needs to be brought to as soon as we can before the new trustees come on, or sign it tonight and then do a resolution under protest or something. But
David.
We could, maybe just direct staff to know the board's really unhappy with this agreement, and ask them again to take our thoughts into consideration and work with us. And we don't need anything signed until July. We've already paid them. We're not going to terminate the services. We're not happy with this agreement. We're going to work with them to revise the all the needs. We have a say in the budget, a say in getting all the reports, obtaining all the reports we need, and just try to keep working with them.
I mean,
I know it takes more time to bring it back again.
It seems crazy to sign something that knowingly puts people at risk. And it seems like we have to have something else. Like, we can't just sign this. I don't feel comfortable with that.
Well, it looks a lot like taxation without representation.
It does. Maybe.
Where have I heard that before?
Is there some tea we can dump in the river?
Right?
Let Justin and I do a little bit more brainstorming with David. And I will try to reach out to the part-time city manager and county manager and see what we can do.
Can we reach out to their board? Should we go to their meeting?
I can reach out to those managers and request them.
I would like to talk to their board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whose board?
Cortez.
City Cortez.
So they know that they have this power
100%
hungry.
certainty. They have no idea that any of this is going
I would
on.
agree, their board just.
Oh, you mean their town?
Their
Yeah,
their
their
city
city
board.
council.
I thought you were talking like the 9.
No, their
No, I
city
would
council.
have a wager, you're right, yeah.
I would have 100% certainty that they have no idea that this is going on, and they have an election coming up.
So do you want just the city of Cortez, or do you want to meet with the county commissioners as well?
I would love to meet with both.
I did, yeah.
If we can pull it off, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I will reach out, I will copy David and ask, and I will copy their city and county attorneys and the city and county managers and request, express our dissatisfaction with this agreement and see if there's any interest in having a joint workshop with the three boards and commission councils. And I will get back to you and let you know.
And if you don't get any traction, then I think the next thing to bring to us is a protest letter.
Yeah.
And then whoever feels comfortable signing it can sign it.
Then we're signing something
'Cause
under duress, I think that's.
seriously, this is ridiculous.
Can I bring one other, I mean, I don't know if I'm making it worse or not, but to, not just the three entities, but let the other, 9 or whatever it is, 10 entities know that we are dissatisfied and we are asking for this on everyone's behalf. And I'm just thinking that because I
As
think.
part of the user group.
Yeah.
On behalf of the user group and our reservations that we
feel
have.
This is not
They're
fair.
opening it up to the big group.
I want to be very careful.
We don't want to
We're
get
not speaking
everybody.
on behalf of the user.
No, but we're
No,
speaking
no.
as one member of that group.
No,
And then we have
just let them know that that's what our intent is.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah, not
Yeah,
invite
because if
them.
the other groups want to sign it.
That's their
Yeah, everyone has the right.
and if they know that we're upset, they may be upset as we are. We don't know where they're at on it, and they may want to join us for this collaboration meeting. Just think, and the sooner the better, because this is going to be hard to throw at all new members of the Cortez board, Dolores board, and our board.
Well, it's not Tom Dolores because they contract with the sheriff.
That's right.
So that's one is in.
Gotcha.
So excuse me.
There's no contract between the town of Dolores and the sheriff's office.
It's not Montezuma County. They don't have a.
Montezuma County, the sheriff is furnishing.
Okay.
Don't start, Gerald. Don't start it, Gerald.
Yeah, they're not one of the user groups. Sheriff's furnishing deputies over there and he's not getting paid for it.
Okay.
So the rest of the people in Montezuma County are subsidizing that. The town of Dolores.
So, I was just gonna say, so it's the users on the contract is who I'll worry about. But, so let, Justin and David and I, and I will keep you posted.
I'll have my computer next week.
Okay. But, we'll move forward. Let me see what we can do. I think I have kind of a good idea what direction you want us to go in. My first step is going to be to see if we can reach out and get a joint workshop, with Board of County Commissioners and their attorney, and the City of Cortez and their attorney, and us and our attorney. So I will see if we can, do that. And then,
Are you sure you understand our direction? I know we're very subtle.
yes, well, I was super subtle, just copying and pasting that.
I know.
Vein in my forehead.
If it wasn't for your comments.
Thank you, Gerald. Thanks, Justin.
Did Amy warn you?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
You'll feel my pulse right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
So, point of order, should we then make a motion to table this until a date uncertain?
Yeah, how should we finish this?
Okay. I move we table this IGA contract resolution, whatever it is, debacle, to a date uncertain.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee Brent McWhirter to table this IGA for dispatch services from the City of Cortez until a further date. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryan.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Howell.
Sure.
Trustee Brent McWhirter.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Snowcraft.
Aye.
Trustee Buchanan.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Okay. Moving right along to Resolution 7, Series 2024, the resolution in opposition of HB 24-1152.
So at the February 14th board meeting, we discussed this pending pending legislation with regard to accessory dwelling units being in use by right in MPS, metropolitan planning areas. Currently, this legislation would not apply to the town of Phoenix. We are not an MPO. However, I'm sorry, an MPA, I apologize. And we do allow ADUs or accessory dwelling units as a use by right in our single family zones. However, there is concern about state overreach. This legislation removes the municipalities' ability to legislate for their citizens, and we are required to take state direction. The state is telling municipalities and counties, you have to do this. So we were asked to bring back a resolution in opposition of that legislation due to potential state overreach.
Oh, yeah.
So I did not reinvent the wheel. We are not the only municipality that is opposing this. So the resolution before you is opposing this legislation. The deadline is Friday, so if you approve it, then tomorrow it will be sent to our representatives, CML, and all of the appropriate parties.
And CML is agreeing to this, correct? I mean, they're against.
Yeah.
CML opposes this, yes. This particular legislation. At the time that we discussed this, I did not log in for the last couple of days. I have been on another project, so I haven't been keeping up with the current legislation like as of today or yesterday. But I would say any legislation that removes our local control to legislate for our own citizens is probably something we want to discuss at your level.
Definitely.
So that leads me to, there is potential future legislation that will also deal with what CML or what managers or what municipalities or counties consider state overreach. Do you want us, when time permits, like we have meetings Monday through Friday, so I could bring you a resolution for you all to sign. Is there a general statement from this board that says anything that removes local control or anything that is an unfunded mandate or anything that is considered state overreach? If in between board meetings, do you want us to just sign on? Because you can just log in. I believe you've all done that before, where you log in and sign your name in opposition. Do you want us to do that if there's a deadline and we don't have a board meeting to get a resolution to you, or do you want us staff to be silent unless we have time to bring a resolution to you? That's my second question with regard to this type of legislation. This is actually where you all are generally at legislation. You're not done with meetings. So
I am.
I don't want to necessarily miss an opportunity for you all to be able to have a discussion and voice an opinion and choose to support or not support via resolution. I don't know that that's staff's, I don't know that that's my place to assume I know what you want to do, but I do want to let you know that sometimes this legislation comes fast and furious.
Yeah.
And we can also call a special meeting,
If it's a huge impact, yes.
Yeah. I think anything, the way you worded it, like anything that like have it specific, anything that removes our local control, authority, what have you. And like you said, if you don't have time to bring it to us, then I'm okay with you, like emailing it out to us and saying, warning, this is happening. Yeah. If you want to log in and sign it, go ahead. I don't know if that constitutes a vote or if we individually do it. you know?
You would, if that was the case, you would do that individually. I would still err on the side of caution and put an FYI in the next board packet.
Yeah.
Just to remind you all.
Right, this is what you
I
did.
Because this was the deadline and we didn't have a meeting until today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. Anything that takes away our control is go ahead and, if you have time to bring it to us, bring it to us. If you don't have time, get it done, let us know so we can go on individually and do it also, because that's just another vote opposing it. But it, you know, and then
I know that if I can, I will try to schedule a special meeting. Just because these decisions should be made
In public.
But they should still be made here.
Right.
I just worry that sometimes if we don't have a quorum, or if everybody's out of town, or, you know what I mean? And again, it's not the end of the world if we miss a piece, but I do think that there are going to be some legislation items or pieces or discussions that you may feel strongly about. And I want to make sure that you have the opportunity as a board to weigh in on those.
Yeah.
So I will do my best.
Yeah.
And no matter what happens, it will be brought up in the meeting. If I end up making an executive decision, I will put an FYI in the next board packet so you can either say thank you or you can say you'll never do that again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting some.
So, do you want a motion on that so that it's?
No, just on this resolution for tonight, I was just looking for kind of a temperature of you all to know that there is, if I can schedule a special meeting, I wanted, that's a big one for me. Are you all interested in doing that?
Yeah. I think we are. I think that it'll be good to put that down as a topic on the new board's retreat.
Yeah.
So that we can discuss it with the new people, so that they're not like, hey, what is happening? Why is staff sending that out? You know, but that'll get us through the gap.
The 3 more meetings we have.
Yeah, the 3 more meetings.
Okay. Then I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve Resolution 7, Series 2024, a resolution of the Town Board of Trustees of the Town of Mancos opposing State House Bill 24-1152 regarding accessory dwelling unit preemption.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Brent McWhirter and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson to approve Resolution 7, Series 2024, a resolution of the Town Board of Trustees of the Town of Mancos opposing State House Bill 24-1152 regarding accessory dwelling unit preemptions. Amy, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Brennan.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Brett McWhirter.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Tookar.
Aye.
Trustee McNeely.
Aye.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we will move right along to the Ready Grant application approval.
Good evening, board.
Hi, Jason.
I am seeking approval from you guys tonight to go ahead and submit the Ready Grant application, and then once we receive the grant, to allow Heather to execute that contract with DOLA. What I'll say about the overall idea of the grant is I want to emphasize that what I'm not trying to do is make a brand new plan. What I'm really trying to do is make the plans we currently have in place actionable. I think, you heard from the Creative District tonight about their community engagement, what they're trying to get accomplished. Mancos United is doing some things, the Chamber's doing some things, and what I've spent a lot of time doing in the last, year and a half really is developing those relationships and trying to figure out, common directions we can go in. We have our own sets of plans, but I think to operate in a complete silo, I think we're going to fatigue the community, quite honestly, as a group of entities if we don't at least try to consolidate some of this information into one place. So it's not only about, what we're going to do with the plans we already have, that we've had for a few years, and the comp plan we just updated. It is about better understanding how our goals align with all these different entities that we're working with. So, yeah, I'll answer any questions if you guys have them. So,
When is this due?
tomorrow.
Pardon?
Tomorrow.
There's tomorrow.
Thursday. I have to put it into,
No,
yeah,
that's
it's
fine.
in the Dole Court.
Yeah, I didn't know, and when I was looking at it, I just
Oh.
saw that Queenie Barnes, mayor, and I didn't know if it was, we're gonna be transitioning to the mayor. Make sure we're not, that's why I was asking about the deadline. Because if it was, in May, then,
I wish it was in May.
I think there's a little error here. Responsible administrator, we have Heather, and then last name says Marie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
Yeah, it's in the signatures, or the.
On your page
It's on page 32.
32 of our package.
Yeah, it's cut and pasted from
Sorry.
what was in the
Just, I know that's
template.
pretty-
Sorry about that.
I guess just a kind of a feedback is so what's the downside of any of this? I mean, you're applying for this. There's really no downside to this, is there?
I'd like to think there isn't.
Okay.
Well,
I just can't see it yet.
But I mean, we applied for the same grant in, was it 2017? And what that really did was it provided a couple of different things. One, it kind of kickstarted the idea of even having this position in the town. And it also funded an economic development strategic plan. And we've created other plans along the way since then, right? We have housing things we need to think about, and the comp plan, and all these other things. So, I think, that last bullet there, gain a better understanding of the need to grow the department for future success. That's really going to help us all kind of understand, maybe, do we want to add staff to community economic development department, and what do we want them to be working on? And I think the community can really do a great job of helping us understand that in the next couple of years. So, yeah.
I think it's smart. I think positioning ourselves, because watching, like Make Us United wants a rec center, Creative District wants a building where they're going to do, it seems like their mission opened up really wide tonight. And it's just like, whoa. It feels like we kind of need to come back and start to help engineer a plan of where we're all going to some degree. I mean, we don't need to be in charge of everything, but we should kind of help facilitate the movement of all of us going in the same direction. And I think this will help. So I think we do need to invest in sort of corralling everything a little bit. Yeah.
And we budgeted for this, or?
No, it was not budgeted.
Yeah, we have a
However,
matching fund.
the current total budget is $48,000, which I think is a little too much for us to keep. But if we receive the grant with a $12,000 match, I definitely think that we can absolutely swing that.
Okay.
Very easily. If we do not receive the grant, we will figure out in-house how to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think also a big piece of this is that Main Street community is in the comp plan. We've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
And this will help us with that piece of it. There are a lot of components to this that I think are a good idea. I'm not a huge fan. Everybody knows, and the staff knows, I'm not a huge fan of plans. Let's do a plan, but then we're gonna work it.
Yeah. Just to have them.
Sit on the shelf, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think that this is needed because the original grant allowed us to hire a position and say, here's where you need to focus for the next 2 to 3 years. And we have done it.
Yeah.
We have accomplished a lot in our original get this department off the ground. Now what we need is to say, what are your next steps? This, I think, is the final phase, because once we get through this, kind of growing pains and what do we do now for this department to be sustainable and to provide the most value to the community, after that, we can take it on our own.
Yeah.
I think this is the last piece, or phase 2, I guess you could say, from that original 2018 plan and decision. Those are my thoughts.
Thank you. It was really well, your application was really good. It's really good, interesting to read.
I've got a lot of words.
Yeah.
Sure do.
So,
read it.
So I would,
Want to make the motion?
Yep.
To authorize the Community and Economic Development Director to submit the ready grant application and to authorize the town administrator to execute the contract upon grant award.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Ed Hallam and a second by trustee Denise Bryant to authorize the Community and Economic Development Director to submit the ready grant application and authorize the town administrator to execute the contract upon grant award. Jamie, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Yeah.
Trustee Brent McGregor.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Pepper.
Aye.
Trustee McMahon.
Alright.
Okay, motion carries. Moving right along, next is the unhoused public meeting, final details and trustee decision.
All right, so I'll introduce this, but really it's more board discussion. The board asked staff to bring this back so you guys can choose date and members on who can sit, or who's gonna sit the panel for the community meeting, and then a date that you guys would like it to happen. I understand that we're getting close to the election, so if whatever the board chooses is what, then Jason and I can start getting out to the public. So I'll let the board take over.
Do we not want to wait for the new board to do this, being that?
Yeah, that was
No, we
kind of my
didn't.
question.
Yeah,
too.
you know, it's gonna.
Previously, we had said no, we wanted to do it because of us, because we're the ones who knew about it. It would be throwing it into a discussion, so we wanted to get it done with this
Yeah, that
board.
was, we need to get it done before.
We need to get
I'm
it
torn
done.
by that.
So,
Well, that was our decision.
Mhm.
That was a
Last time,
consensus previously, was for us, this board to do it.
yeah, and so the 3 board members that are chosen for the panel, that's kind of like a one and done at this point, right? So
No,
it
it's not.
wouldn't matter.
But we haven't chosen that.
Seems like
Face
it's-
of the meeting. We haven't chosen.
Yeah, I know we haven't chosen anyone, but
But
it's
a
not
one
like
and done.
we're signing up people that may not be on the board for the next 3 years.
No.
So it's just
Yeah.
that meeting.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
That was my understanding.
Yeah, no, again, this is just a meeting to set in public that this is a societal issue, it is not a government issue.
Yeah.
People choose to be homeless. Some people are homeless because of financial issues, and that we don't have the resources within our community to support homeless. So we can, Cortez has established resources, Durango has established resources, but we don't want to have those resources.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I add that Access LCC is going to send these couple of therapists from their outreach program to the meeting, and they're willing to answer questions to
Okay.
So we need to set a date and pick board members.
Pick 3 board members.
3 board members.
I get, or whatever the board decides. I mean, there's been discussion on pushing it out or having it.
I think we need to do it because it's starting to get nicer and nicer.
I was gonna say, it's in our face.
And I'm not opposed to being on the board for you if I need to. I mean,
And, you know,
I know pretty much all the vendors.
yeah, and again, that's kind of up to the board, and I know we have limited returning. I
was gonna
don't
say
know
there's
for sure.
three that are continuing on.
Yeah.
The easy way to do this is to pick the 3, then the knowledge carries into the new board.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at, so. But,
Well, it's.
No, I know, I was thinking the same thing.
Well, but you're also.
I guess we got
you're
4.
also a business
I'm
owner.
coming in.
Yeah, but you're also a business owner, which is what we're gonna be talking to.
Well, for law enforcement, I can't get the business owner law enforcement agreement out until we set a date. And so that's what's holding me up from getting that out to the businesses to allow me to enforce loitering, trespassing, and everything during closed business hours without a representative present. So that's my only push, and my ask is if we can do it sooner, then I can get that out.
Yeah, so sooner's better.
Okay.
So how long do you need to get this set up? And then we'll work it.
I'm out next week, so, I mean, preferably.
And I'm out the following, well, I'm out next weekend, the following week.
I mean, if we could do it sometime in April, because if we're gonna have returning board members, then we don't need to have the new board.
Yeah.
You guys can do that at a later date, retreat, something,
So
whatever
first
you guys
week of-
need to do.
First week of April.
Talking about doing Richard and Nick and Cindy?
And
Or Brett?
And Brett?
You can do it too.
Brett's coming too, okay.
Yeah, we can just do the four. I mean, four
Do
of
the
us.
four of you guys?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Four musketeers.
Does the 16th work? Or
16th of April?
Yeah, April 16th. It's the day after taxes.
Let me look.
Day after tax day, I don't know.
It's as good as any day. Yeah, day after taxes.
It'll work.
Are you looking for like a weeknight kind of thing?
It's up to the board.
Well, we also need to figure out what works best for you. I mean.
And
so
and the,
good
the
answer.
people, well, but the people that we're inviting to come speak, like what's your take?
That's
on
not a
it?
spring break conflict.
They just said,
No, that's next week.
and they'll figure it out.
Okay.
So we just pick. Yeah.
So what's the
April
location?
16th.
I guess that's the first question.
Well,
We decide on the community center. We need to make sure that date's open for the community center.
I know there was talk of having it here too, just at the round.
Yeah, just at the circle the chairs.
Or we could do it at the Columbine or.
No.
No, we can't. It's gonna be this.
No, that's wildly inappropriate.
I thought it was the library, one of the rooms at the library.
That was another option we talked about. Yeah. Something neutral.
It's gonna depend on how many people show up.
And we won't know until
Yeah.
They show up.
That's kind of
Well,
what
but
I'm thinking.
yeah.
The community center, if we did that, we could always add more chairs to it
Mhm.
or subtract.
And wasn't he gonna give you an update, like talking points and stuff?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't need
Give
to
them the
meet
talking points,
before-
Right,
Yeah,
so
we
we
get
have to meet with him
with
before.
Justin before he
The library's a good idea because it is neutral. It doesn't put us in the position of being the authority necessarily. I
Yeah.
don't know. I kind of like it being offsite.
Yeah.
The big sign.
No, I'm sorry. I can't
What-
love the.
And as far as talking points, that's really simple. It's a bullet point in an email.
Yeah.
And then, 10, 15 minutes before the meeting, all it is for the board to come out and say, because, I mean, you see how well we pack a room. So,
Already faithful.
yeah, and so, I mean, we can do it, and the thing is Jason and I are here to support you in this meeting, so if you get into a point that you can't ask, we jump in and help you.
Yeah.
And we're never gonna leave you guys hanging in a public meeting.
Sure you will.
Maybe Richard, I don't know about you, but.
Yeah, maybe Richard.
Yeah.
So April 16th?
It works for me.
Works for me.
Tuesday.
So if the library's not available, the community center is booked that night from 4:30 to 5:30 for teaching classes.
So I could do it at 6 or something.
You could do it at 6, or you could do it on April 18th, which is Thursday.
That'll work for me.
There is no community center booked on
On the 8th.
I like having it there, so, I mean, if the library's busy or.
Yeah,
That works for me too.
that works for me too. We can do that.
6?
16th on the library.
Or we just say the 18th of the community center. Just
Might have something on the 18th, but it's slipping my mind.
You're gonna be gone for your own.
No,
Oh.
that's the last day I work. No, the 18th should be good.
Wait, your last day of work?
Yeah.
Before I vacation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for saying that in the microphone.
Yes. Just
Make sure that that gets underlined in the minutes, you know.
yeah, put that in bold, please.
6?
6 o'clock.
On the 18th at the community center.
18th, 6 o'clock. Is that what we said?
Somebody will have to remind me.
I thought we said community center.
I'm so sorry.
We're just gonna pick the known quantity, I think is what we're. And then we should be there at 5:30 to meet with you.
Yeah, I don't know, whenever.
Well, a lot of asks come early too.
Okay.
And, I think it's important that you guys have a chance to talk with that rep so that they know what you're.
Yeah, it'd be good so we don't, yeah.
Cool.
So we're trying the library then?
No.
Or the
Community center.
All right, sorry. I was in a different box when you guys were talking, so I had to get back in the right spot.
You're good, you're good.
Thursday, April 18th, 6 p.m., community center.
That works.
That works.
So that'll give me time to work with Jason and we'll get the talking points nailed down.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
I might be able to have little slideshow printouts for you guys. We'll see how well I do.
Don't do it on your vacation though.
No, this will be before my vacation. So.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Okay, moving right along to the next is the public hearing for ordinance 778, series 2024, Empire Electric franchise agreement, first reading. And so this is a public hearing, so at 8:46 p.m. I'm going to open the public hearing. And seeing no one has signed up to speak for the public hearing.
Wait,
Oh, nope, that's right.
Because this is a franchise agreement ordinance, we are held
Read-
to a
to
different
read it.
statute.
To read
So by law, this has to be read in full. So they
yeah.
just can step right out there and read it in full while we discuss it, unless you want us to read it in full right here.
Thank you, David, because I didn't want to read it.
Wouldn't it have to be on the recording?
Back in the day, the franchise used to sunset here. They probably did.
Yeah, they'd read it in the hallway.
Yeah, we did the hallway, that's right.
So I'll just do
Bizarre.
that. I just want to do that. That's okay.
That is perfectly okay with me.
Yes, thank you.
That's, yeah, we're happy
You
with
bet,
that.
and thank you for volunteering as tribute.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, David.
So just.
Speed read.
So, while the public is hearing is open and while he is reading it, I will tell you, this is a renewal of a franchise agreement that has been in effect for a while. We renew these every 10 years. Our franchise revenue is 5%. That has been unchanged. I believe it is the max that we can receive. We can't get any more than that. There is nothing being changed in this franchise agreement because 10 years ago, we spent quite a lot of time renegotiating. So this is basically just a renewal of an existing franchise agreement.
I do have one question. Most public hearings would just do one reading, and this has to have two?
Correct.
Okay.
Our general ordinances are just introduced and adopted that same meeting. The town changed statute prior to me starting here in 2008, so it's been done that way forever. However, again, because this is a franchise agreement, it's Title 31, a different section of Title 31. It's not the municipal statutes, it's the franchise agreement statutes. So we're following some different rules. Generally, we also don't have to do our ordinances at a public hearing. Only certain ordinances require a public. So we will do it this meeting, we will do it next meeting. I have advertised it for the last 3 weeks in the newspaper because we're also required to advertise for 3 consecutive weeks because we only charge people. So there are different requirements for this. That's why this ordinance for you looks different. You're seeing different publication notices in here. The format is different. How it needs to be signed is different. All of that stuff is different. So that's why this looks different than your regular ordinance. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but
Don't we need to bring that back to the board? We need to close the public hearing and then bring that back to the board for questions. Okay, so seeing nobody signed up to speak in this, I'm going to close the public hearing at 8:50 p.m. and bring it back to the board. Does any other board have any questions?
It says, the town shall have the right to allow the installation of public telecommunication facilities in Empire Electric's right-of-way on town property, so long as there's no interference with the Empire Electric function. So is that alluding to, like, if we wanted to do our internet, some sort of internet?
Cable TV?
So.
No, not cable TV.
No?
No, so if the town, you know, this is an option for our broadband, if we wanted, we could, is that why this is in here?
That's why it's there.
Okay.
And this was also in the previous agreement. If you think about right outside here in Boyle Park, those handholds, Empire Electric also has an easement right there. There's a telephone pole right there. So they have an easement in our park on our property, but we were allowed to put those handholds in the ground for the fiber, high-speed internet, in their easement, as long as it didn't interfere with their telephone pole or their guide wires or anything there.
Okay.
That's what this says, and this was also in the previous
one, okay.
I don't believe it was in 20 years ago, but it was in 10 years ago.
Gotcha.
Okay, and Richard just asked a question about cable TV and you just said no. Can you explain that?
Those are different franchises.
It's a different franchise agreement.
Okay.
This is with Empire Electric.
Okay.
We have a franchise agreement, a cable franchise agreement for our cable companies.
I think they were asking about using the same infrastructure though, is what that was talking about.
That's part of that agreement.
That's our agreement with Empire Electric.
I don't know if that same telecommunication provision is in the cable agreement, because honestly, I haven't looked at that for, I think, 8 years, so I don't remember that.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is the cable company also has an agreement with Empire Electric to attach it to their.
And it's separate of ours. It's separate of ours.
Yeah, that's outside of ours.
Outside of our district.
Right.
Okay, just wanted to answer that question.
else.
Any other questions or anything? Okay, then I will entertain a motion.
We don't need a motion.
Don't need a motion.
You will see this at the next board meeting.
Oh, that's right.
At another published public hearing.
Okay.
And we will do the same thing, you will go to the public hearing, it will be read outside, or we can read it inside at that point if you like. And then at the end of that public hearing, then we will need the motion.
I'm a little confused because it does say passed, adopted, and approved on first reading this 13th day of March 2024.
And then it says on passed, adopted, and approved on second and final reading on the 27th of March.
Okay, so thank you for catching that. So what I'm gonna say is, Dave's not here to ask, so go ahead and make a motion. Because this template was written by David and the franchise. Empire Electric, so I apologize, I don't understand the technical part of that. But I would say go ahead and make a motion and pass it on this first reading, but in your motion, please state that it will be heard again in a public hearing on March 27th.
Okay, so I'll move that we approve ordinance 778 series 2024 in its entirety as required by CRS 31-32-103, and that we will also hear this at our next meeting on March 27th, 2024.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Brittany Porter and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and trustee Richard Tucker to pass ordinance 777 series 2024 in its 778 series 2024 in its entirety as required by CRS 31-32-103 on its first reading today and will be read again for its second reading on March 27th.
And that's in here, it does say that this ordinance when approved, if and when approved by the town, by the board of the town shall be considered on the first reading on the 13th day of March 24,
Right.
And then it says, and the same shall therefore be considered on the second and final reading on.
Okay.
Right. Okay, Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Keith Snyder. Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Brent McWhirter.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Tokar.
Aye.
Trustee
Aye.
Okay, we have a motion, and then we have a quorum, and it is passed. Okay, next is the Cortez Animal Shelter, IGA.
You should just stay after.
My idea.
Bless you.
All right, so, what I'm asking the board to do is adopt or sign this IGA. Is what it'll do is it will limit the expense that we pay for the shelter. So instead of having to pay an annual fee, we're paying the play. So it outlines that we'll pay $65 for a dog to be impounded, up to $15 a day, up to 5 days for that dog to be incarcerated. And then if the dog is not homed, we will pay the euthanization fee if the dog needs to be euthanized. So it limits what we will do. In the IGA, they will send, if the owner picks up the dog, they will send me the owner information. The marshal's office will cite the owner, because not only do we have town residents that we pick their dogs up from, we have county residents. And it's not fair for our town residents to foot the bill for county residents' dogs that come in and are at large. So there's nothing in statute that bars me from writing a county resident a municipal violation. So if with county dog owners, they should also have to foot the bill for us impounding their dogs. And they would be cited in the Memphis Municipal Court, and the court can order what the court feels. But, I mean, this would essentially be a court cost and fee with this IGA. So if the board has any questions.
Oh, it seems true.
So do you capture a lot of stray dogs?
We impound roughly 5 to 10 a year.
So there is an expense.
There isn't to the owner. I mean, the owner gets billed too.
Right.
First one is $65, second one $75, and so on. But what we do is our local dogs, we know whose they are. So they get a ticket. Ride. Yeah, they get a free ride, and then the second time they get tickets. So, you know, the other thing, so I can't force county residents to get a dog license. But if I catch a dog that doesn't have a license, the citizens are going to start getting written. It's a really cheap fee. But if there's a dog at large and they have a city license, I can come back to town hall, figure out who owns that dog, and get it back to where it belongs.
Right.
If it's capturable. There's some dogs that come into town that we cannot catch. They do not want to have anything to do with us.
It's the uniform.
Yeah. So.
They went to different colors, so that may help.
Well, I don't know. They still run.
Just start carrying bacon with you.
Well, we've tried. We've tried a lot of different avenues. But it's just, I don't want another power grab, if you will, to be thrown at us. I'm trying to get ahead of it. And I mean, if they don't want to sign it, then is what it is. They can come to the table and speak about it, but I've worked with legal and I've worked with the shelter, and this is what we've found is fair.
Good.
Nice.
The only thing I have is, it's not, but in the 1, 2, 3, and the fourth paragraph, if the canine is picked up by its owner of the, the Cortez Animal Shelter, the needs to come out of there, and I do not have a resolution in the red packet to sign, so that can be changed tomorrow, and I can come in tomorrow and sign that.
It's just an idea.
Well,
Yes.
on
No, it's
this
an idea.
particular one, you would just authorize the marshal to execute this idea.
Right.
Right, it's just,
Okay, all right, but that just, that
Yeah,
needs
and,
to come out of there.
yeah, and it almost seems like it should say if the canine is picked up by its owner from the Cortez Animal Shelter. Or, no, that doesn't fit
No.
right either. Anyway, fix that.
Right, and then down in the next paragraph, over there, it says similarly, in the last sentence, it says, similarly, if the canine has to be euthanized by the shelter and the shelter is spelled wrong. So, just for somebody.
not bad though.
Cool.
You only had 2 mistakes, those 2 caught, so you did pretty good.
Fair enough.
He was testing us, he was testing us to see if we'd get it.
Yeah.
So do you want a motion on this?
I'm sorry?
You want a motion?
Please.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that the board approve of the IGA between the town of Mancos and the Cortez Animal Shelter.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Denise Bryant and a second by trustee Richard Tucker to approve the IGA between the town of Mancos and the Cortez Animal Shelter. Jenny, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Denise Simpson, sorry.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Brett McWhorter.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Coco.
Aye.
Trustee.
Motion carries. Next on the list is the items for March 27th, 2024. We have a public hearing, the 778 Series 2024 Empire Electric franchise agreement, second reading and adoption. And does anybody else have anything else? I've been talking, I think we need to really stress that this is a responsibility when you come on the board. And I know we've discussed it previously that if you don't attend the board meetings, that you get docked in pay. And I know we don't get very much money as it is, but for us not to have a quorum does not look good to our constituents. And there's 7 of us. If we can't get 4 together, that does not look good. And I'd like for us possibly to look into what the legalities of docking are future. So we can't do it for us, but we can do it for future if they don't attend. Now, sickness, if you're in the hospital, you're having surgery, a death in the family, something like that. But I think we need to look at, this is a responsibility and you can't schedule your vacations around this because there are 7 people here and you can't just say, well, there'll be somebody else there to do it because there's 7 of us and I'm going to go on vacation, because it really is frustrating to those of us who put in the time and the effort. And so I'd like to see that on the agenda.
Right. I agree with you, Queenie, but I mean,
We have a life beyond here.
that's going to be a muddy road to go down. I mean, so the board's going to have to give written explanations why they're not here, and who's going to be the judge and jury on it.
Was this I excused myself, or I made 2 points to the night of the meeting before, I said I would not be here at the following meeting. I called the day before and said I would not be there. So I was, was this a surprise, or was a pre-noted thing?
It was kind of a surprise. We got the message that afternoon that it was canceling our meeting because we didn't have a quorum.
My wife got COVID. I was sick
But
too.
then you sick.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't know
Sickness,
that until the day of. And it's kind of about to have a baby. I'm going to take time off. I feel like it's not really fair to people who have lives outside of here.
Yeah. But I agree, we need to make it.
We
need to make every effort.
Yeah, we need to make every effort because this is a responsibility.
I think they do.
By all means.
But it
Well, that
doesn't.
was the first one I've had canceled in 6 years from our board.
I was ready to come. I was called and said,
Yeah. Like I said, it is a responsibility. I mean, we need to really stress that to the new board that you're just not getting on for just be a town figure or whatever, because it is a responsibility to everybody who voted you in, even though nobody shows up. It is our responsibility because we're making decisions for today, 5, 10 years, 20 years down the road. And I think we really, really need to take it responsible. I've been on here 16 years and I've missed 4 meetings. And one was
Well, thank you for your service.
so it's important. It's important. So.
Well, there's also a protocol in the trustee handbook of
Right.
how that if you're not gonna be here, so if we need to revisit that and talk about that protocol, maybe there's another way we can approach that. So we're better, know who's, we know that we're down 3 or something. I don't know.
But I also don't think that we should decide this for the next
Right.
board either.
We can't decide it for ourselves.
I know, but
decide it for the next.
but we shouldn't put a poison pill of some sort right now.
And
With
it
5
could be the
openings.
next board that wants to discuss some sort of protocol.
Or
if we're
requirement.
gonna make
Right.
it, or requirement.
Right, we're required
Yeah.
to have certain people come in and speak to us about ethics and.
Yeah.
Well, he does, Sam, doesn't he?
Well, but that's what it's a requirement. The
Right.
board
Right,
hears
he does. And maybe those continuing on want to look at some sort of protocol if you're not going to make it, and how to communicate that out to other board members, and we amongst ourselves figure it out how we're going to make a quorum.
Good discussion point for the retreat.
Sure.
So,
If we can find a date.
okay, so, absent protocols. The only thing I would point out is if you're talking about how to call out for work, you can absolutely do that at any time by updating your protocols. If you're going to talk about compensation if you're absent, this board has to do that for the next board. The next board cannot vote on their own compensation.
Right.
So, if we don't care about compensation, then you guys can have this conversation whenever you want.
I don't feel it's chronic enough of an issue.
Yeah, I don't either.
To raise it to that level.
And the compensation is not why, I mean, I can speak personally, it's not why I'm here. It doesn't cover anything. $200 a month is, it's not the motivator, so. Yeah.
You're not in it for the fame and fortune?
No.
Huh, okay.
I'm here for the fame, not the fortune.
But like I said, I've been on and off this board for 6 years, and we've missed one
We
meeting.
should talk about it, but.
I'll make a note.
In that
Bring
time.
those protocols, and when we, I tried to get kind of a new board, unofficial new board get together, not a retreat where,
Yeah, I saw that.
but it was more of a, can we all meet each other in person and not one single day, right? So, but I think, I think what I'm gonna do is, because I don't know how to get all 7, I think what I'm gonna do is put out some new dates for April on a Saturday. And I'm gonna say, there's 2 dates. I'm going with the majority, and if somebody can't make it, I'm sorry. But this is an informal kind of get to know you kind of thing for our new, because I know some of you are considered new, but for our 3 new faces. I just thought it would be helpful if there was an informal, no agenda, no minutes, no YouTube, no, just to kind of sit around and this is who I am, this is what I do in the town, this is, that kind of thing. If that's not helpful, we don't have to do that. We could take some time at the retreat to do that.
Well, I think it would be helpful to put a name to a face and see what they bring to the table, or see what we can bring to the table.
So I will try again. I have 4 of you here, maybe 5.
5.
So yeah.
That's a quorum.
Are there dates? Is there a date specific?
When are
I
you?
know it was bad. I did not. I apologize. My kids are out of school and didn't even think about spring break, so I will pay attention to that. But the new board will be sworn in at the April 24th meeting. So do we want to do something on say April 13th, which is a Saturday.
My daughter's birthday.
You got so close
Well,
there.
but you know what? That's just one.
Yeah.
All right.
How about the 20th?
I could do that.
Saturday the 20th, yeah.
Can we do it on the 20th?
I'm here.
20th?
420, ooh, good day.
We've got that. Yeah, no, I can do that.
Hey
We've got that
man,
homeless
let's
meeting
meet
at
on
2.
420.
All right, we're going with the 20th, and unfortunately the other two hopefully can make it. I don't know.
What time?
Let's do 9.
Okay.
If they can't make it,
AM?
could we still do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm doing this. I've got 5.
Okay, perfect.
It's a majority.
The 20th, like in the morning or the afternoon?
Do you want to do 9 in the morning?
Yeah,
And
sure.
So what day is this? April?
April
It
20th.
doesn't have to be anything, formal or
Yeah,
anything.
just a
Do coffee and donuts or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could go get coffee.
That's what or I can have it brought here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that works. We're not in.
Where?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because what we can do, or at least is I can show them, even though nobody's ever taken advantage of it, I can show, the library, the trusted library that's in my office and that kind of stuff.
I
So,
didn't know that exists, huh?
yeah, see? I'll try to have binders ready.
I did.
I don't know that I'll have tablets for the new people yet. It depends on if the
Yeah.
board members try to for them. But I'm thinking just kind of that kind of informal thing. Now, do we want the department heads to show up for a little bit, or do we want to just keep this among the trustees for now?
Let's keep it amongst the trustees.
I think we should have them for the actual retreat for that
Generally,
beginning
we have
part.
them for like the first hour.
Yeah.
I
So that
think
they can tell you kind of what they're thinking of for the next year,
Oh,
and
boy.
then you guys can.
let's leave this.
Let's give them that Saturday.
Let's leave this
off.
more
I don't
informal.
think- We're gonna have them Thursday night. Kind of pushing
So
it.
we'll do April 20th just for the board,
Mm-hmm.
and then 9 a.m. here.
Coffee and donuts provided by the town.
We will provide breakfast. Trustees only. Okay.
Would you like our student liaisons to come if they would like to?
It's prom.
Maybe
Saturday at
that's
9.
fine. I was just gonna say, 'cause that's prom for them. So
Oh, never
let's
mind.
get them to set-
Saturday at 9 a.m. That's not gonna work.
But depending on when we schedule the retreat, and that will actually be a question on the agenda
Okay.
at the meeting.
Cool.
For the new board is sworn in.
Okay.
What date do we want to do our retreat give to? And if it's before school is out, we will invite them to that with the department heads for the first hour of that retreat.
Okay.
And then the department heads and the trustee liaisons will be excused and then we will all.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Does that work?
That works.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, April 20th, 9 a.m.
All right, let's
here in
close
this
this.
boardroom. We will
We
provide-
got executive session.
Yeah.
And the sitting trustees are welcome to come as well. the ones that
Sure.
are not next to-
We were totally excluded from this.
No, I need to make sure
There's a
that,
reason for
so
that.
I have a majority of
Yeah.
people who are coming on the board. I just think.
Yeah.
With 3 brand new faces, I just think it would be helpful.
Yeah.
Because we haven't had 3 brand new faces on one board at the same time.
No, that's helpful.
Yeah.
So I just think it would be helpful to get everybody together.
Yep.
This is me and this is what I do.
Agreed.
You know. I would remind everybody that your municipal office is nonpartisan, so we
Yeah.
won't be talking about what political party you are or what your political beliefs are and that kind of thing, which is something that I'll tell them again. I'll remind them again with the new board and stuff, because I don't, we say that, but I don't know if we can say it enough.
Yeah.
And so, because we're different from the county, and the county is also running things and doing elections and that kind of thing, we're very different. So,
Yeah.
Much better.
More ways than one.
so April 20th, 9:00 a.m., just the trustees.
Yep.
Awesome. It will be
Okay.
a public meeting, we'll have to advertise it, but anybody who comes will, it'll be just like any other workshop. They're welcome to sit in the audience, but they will not be part of the discussion.
Okay. So next on the agenda is an executive session.
Could we take a short break?
Well, we have to excuse
At some
everybody.
point, yeah.
We have to make this motion first and then we can take
Okay.
a short break. So, do you want to?
Oh, goody. I make a motion to go into executive session for a conference with the town attorney for purposes of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions under CRS section 24-6 402, parentheses 4, parentheses B, regarding wastewater treatment plant litigation.
Do I have a second?
I'll
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Motion passed. We will take a few minutes break and,
You guys left me hanging.
I know.
I'm good at that.
I was like, second, anyone?
Yes, they are.
Love the new chair.